Hey guys, so Brandon here. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about hub motors, about mid-drive motors. There's a lot of talk, is a hub drive motor better? Is a mid-drive motor better? What do I get? If I'm gonna build one, if I'm gonna buy one, what do I do? And so today I'm going to talk about 4 reasons why a mid-drive motor is not something that you would want to get. So let's get right into it. Okay, reason number 1. I'm actually up here in the mountains, and that's what kind of sparked this whole thing getting going. I'm kind of stranded up here, and that's because my chain broke. So if your chain breaks and you have a mid-drive motor, you aren't going anywhere. I can do all I want. I can hit my throttle, turn my motor, but my motor ain't gonna turn anywhere. So I'm kind of stuck. Versus, of course, if I had a rear hub motor, then I could just keep going and go to my destination just with the motor only. So that's definitely one advantage to having a rear hub motor versus a mid-drive. So the other thing that I can say, option number 2, reason number 2 is that mid-drive motors are always more expensive. They cost more, hands down. If you don't need a mid-drive motor, then I would definitely go with a hub motor. As far as talking about needs, if you're going up like a lot of hills like I do, and you want that performance, mid-drive is definitely the way to go. If you are just cruising around just the city a little bit here and there, just getting back and forth to work, just having a little bit of fun, you'd be just fine with the hub motor. That being said, I burned up 2 hub motors trying to just push them too hard. And so the nice thing, of course, about the mid-drive is you got the whole chain system, which is a blessing and a curse, because then it changes with gears. So it'll be really easy to turn with the motor. It'll be really hard to turn. Not hard, but just gives you the extra speed just based on your gears. Versus, of course, the hub motor is always just going at the same force, same speed. There's nothing changing. So anyway, cost disadvantage for sure. Option number 3 is the complexity of the mid-drive motor. The mid-drive motors are hands down just way more complex as far as just the components inside. If something breaks, there's just kind of more to them. And so especially if you get a bike that's actually the hub motor or the mid-drive motor is actually built into the bike, it gets a lot more complex that way. So it's just kind of like a higher end system that you're working with. So that's a disadvantage. And then option number 4 is just compatibility. So like the mid-drive motors aren't always compatible with all the bikes, especially if you have one that's built in. The hub motor, you can basically just get a standard hub motor and you can throw it on almost any bike. So just compatibility for that is makes a difference. Okay, so the 5th reason that hub motors are not super, mid-drive motors are a disadvantage, is they are just noisy. They're just a little bit noisier sometimes, especially when they're under just a heavy load. That being said, this mid-drive motor overall has been really quiet for me, so it hasn't really bothered me. That is one disadvantage that that people talk about, is just that the mid-drive motors are just a teeny bit noisier than the quieter hub motors. So just something to think about with that. Okay, and then option number 6 is just the ground clearance. Reason number 6 is just that the ground clearance on these, as you can see, just hangs a little bit lower. If you're hitting rocks or going over logs and stuff like that in the forest, then sometimes this can hit. That being said, I do a lot of intense, crazy stuff with this, and it's pretty rare that I ever hit this, and they're built pretty solid. So But it is just one disadvantage that like a mid-drive kit would have. Some of them are built in, and that's that helps a little bit for sure, but a lot of times they're just naturally built a little bit lower, because even the ones that are built in, they just have a lot more metal underneath. The just the way the frame's built, they just hang a little bit lower down there, versus of course the hub motor, then you don't have any of that to worry about there. So, and then option number 7 is the 7th reason is simply that the mid-drive motors oftentimes not as efficient on flat surfaces versus the the hub motors are a little bit more energy efficient, a little bit easier on the battery, and of course a lot of that kind of depends on the gear that you're in and whatnot. But if battery is really important to you, then sometimes the hub motors are a little bit more energy efficient than the mid-drive. So just those are 7 things to consider. Overall, it just kind of comes down to your personal preference and what you're doing. I still absolutely love hub motors, and that's what I recommend. That's what I need overall for what I do. But you do what's best for you. If you're wanting to save a little bit of money, then go with the hub motor. If you're wanting good performance all the way around for just everything, definitely still go with the mid-drive motor. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Please give a thumbs up if this video has helped you out and you liked it. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.